Jeannie has, like an actual step-by-step guide to how to do
this?
this.
Oh,
That'd be
okay.
good for us.
Right? I was
Meaning
thinking
A, B,
that,
C,
but I
step
didn't.
one.
They should like
contact
laminate it
her
and leave it
about
on the desk.
Step one, power on.
Yeah,
I know that.
turn on the power.
I don't know. You want me to see if this, let's try to turn this
So
on.
if there's one panelist, that's us.
That's us.
Yeah.
That's the official.
Yeah, so nobody's, oh, there's Jen. So then,
Jen, oh, yeah.
hit the three dots
Look at Molly go.
3 dots.
and.
She's got this covered.
This thing drives me
This
nuts,
is
right?
the- Yeah, I don't know.
Go back, click
I
out.
mean, you would think that's the power button.
Yes, it is.
I'm clicking right on. Power on, power on.
Yeah.
Oh, wait. Oh, look
Yeah.
at me.
She's-
Okay.
Got it.
Oh, she's a panelist. Okay, that's
All
right.
right,
So she
now
did
we're
the one by
cooking.
herself.
Yeah.
Maybe I just needed
Yeah,
to
yeah,
hit
yeah,
the off
she's
button
there.
last week. The on button.
We got this. Yeah.
Yeah. And then
Got it?
Jen is-
We're all really proud of ourselves.
John,
Hi, Jen.
Hi, guys. And I was going to say, don't worry. Every single meeting in this room, I swear, there's some sort of technological difficulties. So don't feel that it's you.
Getting a little paranoid about that.
It's very reassuring.
Now if we could do the visual, but that's, yeah.
Jen, we're waiting hopefully for Jane scenario. If she, and she did not tell me she was not coming, but she's also not here. And
Okay.
without her here, we don't have a quorum, so there will be no meeting.
Okay.
We're just gonna sit here for a moment and wait and see what happens.
Sure.
Jane had emailed me last week looking for some statistics, so I'm
Well, she and
surprised.
I are working on a report.
Yeah, so I'm surprised she's not here today.
Yeah, Francine notified us that she would not be attending.
The agenda said that, the election of the vice chair was required, like, what is?
That's correct.
Yeah.
Should have at the last meeting and, well, tell you very honestly, I mean, where we are right now is that both Francine and Jane are very, very frustrated. And in fact, came to me and said they wanted to resign. And I asked them if they would please stay on for a little bit longer. Because were they to resign, the committee then does not exist and we're finished, it's over. They agreed to wait and help us with this. We do have a report that we're required by the charter once a year to report to the Board of Selectmen. I don't believe we did not do that last year. But I don't think we had very much to talk about. I think this year we have something to talk about.
Yeah.
Jane has been working with me on putting together a report. It's in a draft form. She and I were planning to meet tomorrow again to go over more specifics on that thing and make it a presentation. And then following what Jen suggested, we would then be submitting that report probably in the form of a slideshow, but to the members of the Board of Selectmen, and then would be willing to, not willing, we would be happy to then sit down at a board meeting or some meeting to explain, discuss whatever they want to do at that point. And I asked Erin if she would talk to Peggy about setting such a meeting up. And she said she was going to talk to Peggy.
I think she had a meeting today with
Oh, then
her.
today.
Yeah, I think this afternoon.
So they're going to discuss it now. So
Yeah.
that's where we
She
go.
might, that might be her
Still in the meeting.
3 o'clock or she
Oh,
has
she might.
3.
Yeah, I think she said it was
Okay, well,
later.
we haven't heard back, so that's still in abeyance right now, so that's what we don't.
Right, okay.
So it's, and I'm not speaking for Peter or Anthony here, but I think we were very disappointed in the fact that, oops. There's a blonde lady with the wrong blonde lady.
No,
Okay.
she's.
That we
That's our
were
friend
disappointed
Jeanette.
that this idea of a trust fund was being basically pushed aside. And we did talk about that last week. So, I mean, I think we're reaching a sort of a very much of a crisis point here right now. I mean, the feeling is, and Jen, I'm speaking to you as well here, but essentially, other than forming this committee, we really haven't done anything in terms of moving the ball on affordable housing. Now, I know we've said a number of good words in the plan of conservation and development, and also in the strat plan, it mentions it several times. But nothing's happened. I mean, nothing has actually moved. And so, I mean, I believe, came to this, and again, please speak
Sure.
for yourselves, but we joined this meeting as volunteers because we really wanted to get something done. And after 2 years, we have a number of recommendations, but we're not getting very much support from the town as to moving those forward or giving us an alternative. You know, we really haven't been able to have that conversation. So that's where we are. And as I say, if Francine and Jane both have agreed to stay on the committee for the time being, but with no promise that that would be more than a short time. You know, and as I say, then essentially then the committee is then dissolved. I mean, I presume we can go, but we can't have a meeting, so nothing will happen for the committee. So it'll be up to the board then at that point to decide what they want to do about this, whether they want to try to reconstitute it in some way or another, or let it go for that matter.
Yeah, I mean, I imagine they probably would heavily recruit.
Well, no, I mean,
volunteers,
it's disappointing that it's a year now since Bennett left the committee, and there's been no effort to replace those two people. You know, no one seems to.
Was it a year ago?
Pardon?
Was it a year ago?
Yeah, it was over a year ago, yeah.
And I would say, I would say that there has been effort. You know, I know at least from the RTC side, I bring it up every single RTC meeting. Anthony brings it up very frequently at our RTC meetings. It's been advertised in the town's website, in the newsletters that Peggy publishes. And I will say that from what I see in terms of open positions on boards and commissions that we have in town, this is not a unique experience to this Affordable Housing Committee. Unfortunately, we're just experiencing, from what I can see, a decline in the number of people that are raising their hand to volunteer for these boards, committees, and commissions, unfortunately.
Yeah, no, I understand
Yeah.
that. I mean, I spoke to Carol Snow about it, and she's been vacant, they've had some vacancies too. The difference with us is that when those two people left, we then became down to 5 people, and we have this problem of not being able, we had to cancel one meeting already because of lack of a quorum, and this meeting apparently will be canceled as well.
Well, so we have that affordable housing listserv. Maybe we could send out something through the listserv and encourage people to
What is that?
get involved. So like, the previous standing committee gathered names of people within the community who were interested in information regarding affordable housing. And then names were added to that through the outreach sessions like you guys did. So, you know, maybe that would be a good avenue to try to recruit
It's worth a try.
Sure.
some
is.
folks.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's like 300.
Yeah, there's
Yeah,
quite a few,
okay.
there's quite a few names on there,
I
so.
got you.
Well, let's give that a try. Because we are down either 2 or 4, depending on what happens in the next few weeks.
How many
Is this-
people are on P and Z?
Did it?
I think it's actually people who show up, I mean, or the.
How many people on
authorized-
that committee?
I think it's like 12 people.
Yeah,
that
it's a
are
big
actually-
committee.
Yeah,
Oh, okay.
So if they have a few no-shows, they could still meet.
yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
I mean, I don't know if you can answer this now, but did Francine and Jane express why they're want to leave?
They feel that after 2 years, town has not supported us in moving these issues ahead.
Well, I kind of feel the same way. I've had that
Yeah.
conversation with both of them, and I'm ready to step back to.
Yeah,
But I really affirm the purposes of the committee. You know, we want to do stuff. And I think all of us are anxious to do something. We
sure.
just
I
haven't
know.
had anything to do. Which is maybe our fault, but I'm very frustrated too with it. And I
Okay.
really came away from the meeting on the trust fund
Yeah,
saying, if this is what we're gonna get, I'm gonna resign.
Well, maybe like having the check-in with the Board of Selectmen will be
Yeah.
useful, right? So
I think it's.
if,
I think it was
you know,
gonna go there,
if you're
yeah.
doing your presentation, that might be a good temperature check for you to see, you know, what initiatives you're putting forward and what they support. and-
Well, I mean, I
I
think,
agree.
you know, I know the board really hasn't, I mean, Jen said at the last meeting that it actually affordable housing has never come up in a board meeting, in a board of selectmen meeting. So, I mean, they are unaware as a group. Now, Jen is obviously, and I assume Peggy is as well, but as a group, they have not actually dealt with the issue, what should we do about affordable housing? So it is the right time to have this meeting, I think.
Right.
And say, okay, we've now spent 2 years doing this, here's what we think should be done. If you guys don't want to do that, that's fine, you know, that's a decision you make, you're the guys that run the town. So, if you don't want to do it, fine, but at least we should know that and not have the feeling that we're just being delayed and delayed and delayed. It's sort of like, you know, yes, don't worry, guys, you know, tap you on the top of the head and say, attaboy.
Well, and so I sort of see this committee, their role is to help advocate within the community for affordable housing. And so I think it's
Indeed, that's
one
one
of,
of the things.
one
yes.
of the roles, one of the tasks for this group is to keep it in the forefront of folks' minds, right? So I think by going before the board, that's very helpful to do, right?
Yeah.
And I think the more engagement that you have with them, you know, it's kind of like the squeaky wheel, the more you're in front of them, the more
Yeah.
they
I
will
agree.
think about that. And I think that goes across the board for other groups as well, like the facilities committee or P and Z or, who else would have? Like whoever else within the town, whatever other boards would, you know, should consider affordable housing when they're making decisions,
Well, it's an
which is a
interesting-
big task to take on, right?
It
I
is,
mean,
it is, and I think that, you know, a journey of 1,000 miles, you know, that kind of thing. I mean, it's not that you're gonna have, you know, take care of the affordable housing problem in Madison, much less anywhere else in this country overnight. But, you know, do you want to go ahead? So for example, the Housing Trust Fund is more of a signal to the world that we're interested in doing something rather than, you know, that we're actually going to be throwing, you know, hundreds of thousands of dollars at developers, because that's not going to happen. But if we say we have a housing trust fund, we have some money in it, and we can help you do the survey for the water or whatever, you know, making sure the deeds are, you know, deed restrictions, search and stuff like that. If we can help at all, but that's a signal more than anything else. And if perhaps there was a way of you know, if the town wanted to, they could actually fund it pretty easily without adding any more taxes other than, you know, adding like a flip tax on $1 million and more houses, that kind of thing. Or funded through, you know, a extra fees or an exclusionary zone and stuff like that. But those are all things that people have done, and including Guilford. I mean, this is not like this is done only in, you know, in Hartford or Richmond.
And we talked about this a little bit last time, and with you too, Jen, I think that, those are recommendations, but some of those have to go, you know, before the board,
Oh, they all have to
town
go.
meetings,
Yeah.
referendums, all of that.
Right.
So,
Right.
Yeah, I mean, all of these are local ordinances that have to get approved, but, you know, we have to get the first step and say, let's have a conversation about them before, you know.
right,
So yeah, and because they take a while and they have to be, you know, vetted by not only the town, but also the town people, but also by the community. Those are important. I think even there, these are minor, you know, housing trust fund. I think I understand, like Peggy and Stacy were not interested in doing it that way because it's more difficult. It is, setting it up, you have to do all this kind of stuff.
right,
You
right,
know, a little bit of a pain in the ass kind of thing.
right.
But on the other hand, you're missing the point, you know, this is not for, you know, you have to do those things in order to signal to people that there is some real movement happening. Because I would be embarrassed to go back to the groups we were meeting, the public meetings that we had 2 years ago and tell them where we are, because
Yeah.
essentially we're the same way as we were 2 years ago. And so, you know, it would be what's the point? And so I think that, I mean, it's, and I think, you know, it's little things. I mean, you know, for example, I mean, Erin has a meeting today, Peggy, okay, fine, she can't come here, but she hasn't been here since the fall. She hasn't attended a meeting since. So the town planner is just basically assuming that there's nothing important going on there and she has better things to do with her time, which may be the case. I'm not gonna say she's wrong, but it's a
Right.
signal again, you guys you're not working as far as that's concerned. So, I mean, it's really, it's a point now where I think we have some ideas that should be publicly discussed by the people who can make a decision on it. And that would be the report. And it's up to the people who can make a decision on it as to whether they want to proceed with it or not. And if they don't want to proceed with it, then I think the town has to sort of look at themselves and say, well, what are we actually doing here? We made sent all these documents out saying we're going to work on affordable housing, but we're really not serious about it. So, and I'm not blaming you guys. I mean, I'm not blaming Aaron. I mean,
Right,
it's
right.
like, these are the facts.
Right.
Well, I'd really love to ask, and maybe Jen can answer this question. Is it in the best interest of the Board of Selectmen to have a committee like ours?
Maybe not.
And
Yeah,
I would say to that, yes, I think it really is because, as you guys have been going through this process, you've been learning a lot, right? You've been reaching out to different community stakeholders and developers and really compiling that information about what is most useful to them, what makes one town more attractive than another when they're looking for places to find, to build their projects and that sort of thing. So you guys have been doing all this legwork and now you're at the point where you've compiled that information over the course of these many months and you're ready to bring it forward to the Board of Selectmen with what you've learned and what your recommendations are. And, and I would say even, I know you guys weren't happy with the result of the meeting with Peggy and Stacy regarding the trust fund option, but I say still include that in your presentation because those are all recommendations that you're bringing forth to the whole Board